Hello friends, and welcome back to Virtual Happy Hour. Today is a bit of a big milestone for me. I published my first ever blog post on tasteandtipple.ca 3 years ago today. That's right, September 22nd, 2017, Becoming a Foodie, the exposition, the origin story of the tipple was posted on the blog. If you haven't read the Becoming a Foodie post, highly recommend it. Some great context, some insight into the inner workings of my tortured psyche, my childhood, my relationship with my parents, all covered off in one handy dandy blog post, and it has a picture of me as a baby. I was cute AF, so effing cute. So, thank you for coming along on this journey with me. And so the theme for today's episode is going to be about growth. And as I tell you about my growth as a content creator, I am going to be making us the classic Pisco Sour. Slight twist on this, I am using both lemon and lime juice instead of just limes, making it a bit of a mix on the acid front, and I'm going to add a couple of dashes of bitters on top for a little decorative play. Some of you commented on my post that was shared by a realty firm in New York yesterday of the fig walnut sour, and has little hearts on the top. So I'm going to show you how to make hearts with your bitters, if all goes well. Live, on camera, under pressure. What will happen? Only time will tell. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. You will need Pisco. Again, Pisco is a kind of unoaked grape brandy hailing from either Peru or Chile. Hotly contested debate on who makes the better Pisco. This one is from Chile. But I know my friends Amy and Kasha fell in love with this in Peru, the Pisco Sour, and had many exciting different variations, included a blended one. And do not put your Pisco Sour anywhere near a blender, although it may be a cheater method of getting a frothy egg white. But we're going to do it the old-fashioned and time-consuming way by double shaking, our favorite risk-taking adventure. I'm covered in my own hair and it's tickling me. So we're going to go ahead and get started without ice to begin for the dry shake. 2 ounces of Pisco. I cannot believe I've never made one of these before on Virtual Happy Hour. Truly astonishing. And then half an ounce of each of our lemon and our lime juice, citrus juicer. There you are, my fair old friend. Half an ounce of lemon juice. There we go. Half an ounce of lime juice. My hair is fabulous, but really impacting my vision. Need a little bit more of the lime, and then we will add 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup. So growth. Since you've recently all fallen in love with me, many of you have asked, how am I so funny, so charming, so beautiful, so effortless? Only one of those things are true. In terms of questions you've asked, no one has ever asked me about my skincare routine. I'm just waiting for the day. And then our egg white. And the answer to that question is over time. When I first started the blog, I regularly debated how much of myself to share online. How much was I comfortable sharing? How exposed and vulnerable was I prepared to be with everyone from my employer to my parents to complete and utter strangers on the internet? And so if you go back and you read my earlier blog posts, you might be surprised to find that I'm fairly guarded. I don't necessarily share too much about my life. or who I am as a person. I really wanted the focus to be on the food and the drinks and the recipes. I wanted to be like Half-Baked Harvest and Love and Lemons and all of these people where their focus is strictly on the food and the only kind of story when they're, you know, doing recipes. It's really about the end product as opposed to, you know, infusing any real or not infusing any, I don't want to say that, but they don't make their personality kind of front and center in the experience of their brand. And so that's sort of what I had always aspired to and looked up to. Dry shake cautiously. Always squirrely. Okay. Wow. A little pre-cum came out there. That's fine. Now we add our ice and shake again. And so it wasn't until, I can't remember the exact kind of timeline, but probably wasn't at least until 6 to 9 months in that I started sharing more. I started infusing my blog posts with my trademark humor. And then it wasn't, of course, until I started hosting Virtual Happy Hour in March that I really became more of a physical and knowable presence on Instagram. If you'd read the blog, probably would have been, you know, indoctrinated into the cult of personality sooner. And you really should read the blog, people. But my point is that it was a journey and I had to decide over time what I was comfortable sharing with a wider audience. And we will strain into our coupe glass. Whew, that is chilly. And the old meh French for hands, which I seemingly have forgotten how to pronounce. I don't know. Okay, so now we have this beautiful egg white foam. Now we will delicately just tidy up here. I have some spillage. We were delicately, I can't decide if I want to go around the edge. Go around the edge maybe. Steady hands. Okay, so we have 5 drops delicately applied. Now we take the sharp end of a cocktail pick and in one fell swoop we will drag it through the center of each drop. Huzzah! Now we have these beautiful hearts. And I don't want to taste it because I don't want to ruin the beauty. It's very, very pretty. Oh, just divine. Just correct that. Fill it in so I can take a nice picture afterward. So aside from, you know, evolving into the fully articulated version of myself that you see before you today, for me, it wasn't tenable to try to be someone that I wasn't online. So that's kind of why I started inhabiting a more authentic version of myself in my blog, and why you can see if you went back to the first episode of Virtual Happy Hour till now, you see my comfort and my charisma and the amount of personality that comes through. It evolves over time. So if you're just starting out or you want to put yourself out there and you're not sure what to do, I think it's really critical and it's going to be more believable and it's going to resonate better with your audience if you are who you are in real life online. Because for me, I think many of my friends and coworkers will tell you the IRL and the online experience of Yvonne is the same, although I'm rarely given the opportunity to monologue amongst my friends, unfortunately. So certainly more hearing from me online than it would be in person. But the same kind of fundamental, you know, characteristics, attributes, humor, and all of that. And I also want to talk a bit about evolution outside of like becoming your true self or you're honoring your authentic self online, it also for me is a constant opportunity to grow and to hone my skills as both a writer and a photographer. I'm going to show you after this some works, like a emblematic image from 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So you can see my kind of progression as a photographer and how I've kind of tweaked or improved, in my mind, my food styling, my composition, my use of light. And then of course the writing is just about, it's about practice makes perfect, but also just being more of myself and sharing more of who I am on the internets. So I'd also like to point out that for 2.5 years I didn't make a single dime off of Taste and Tipple, and was just, throwing my time and my effort and my energy into this passion project, this side hustle that wasn't earning me any money at all, but just because it is what I wanted to do, and it made my heart sing. And I think that if you come at anything you do with that kind of intention, that it's just something that you love doing, that the profiting off it is really secondary at the end of the day. And I think that that's really critical, and it helped me to be motivated. Of course, there are times I'm just like everyone else where I feel frustrated, and I see other people who are food bloggers come onto the scene and they like explode and they get 12,000 followers overnight. And I certainly am, I'm not perfect. I have moments of envy and jealousy and pettiness, but at the end of the day I just try to refocus on who I am and what I'm doing, and not benchmark my success against someone else's, especially if we're using a follower count as the metric. I think at the end of the day, the most important metric is how it makes you feel, and is it something that you find fulfilling and restorative and that gives you joy. Hashtag spark joy. Spark joy. Not choy like bok choy. No, spark joy. So yes, thanks for joining me on this journey. Stay tuned. Taste and Tipple isn't going anywhere, but 3 years old today, just a wee pup. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on Friday.